And welcome everyone to our virtual co-working write-in, edit-in events. Today is our 9th write-in for Novel Quest and our final virtual write-in on YouTube. And today we'll be interviewing special guest authors S&E Black, but more on that in just a second. Now, I'm Coral Sands, author and one of your quest guides for today.
And I'm Ansley Ashe, author, and I'm a quest guide as well.
I love write-in events. Being a quest guide is a lot of fun, but I want to warn you that when we host, we post prompts followed by short bursts of break time so it can really be productive. Think of this as a 1-hour marathon of working on your story.
We are live on YouTube, but feel free to watch the VOD so you can pause if you need more time. And don't forget to subscribe and do all the fun algorithm stuff.
Now, this is our last November event, but we do have some December events for you to enjoy. On December 3rd, we have our Thank Goodness It's Over party, which we're really, really excited. We have the fabulous Amy Gash and Elise Howard that we will be interviewing for that show. And then on the 21st, we'll have our December write-in, edit-in event.
All right. So we have S&E Black with us today. Shannon Biha and Edward Allion are here. They are a husband and wife duo under the pen name S&E Black. They are authors of Chimera Snare, which my oldest child is currently in the middle of reading, a dark fantasy book series, a decade-long creative endeavor. Their debut novel, Fragments, which is the one I just showed you, promises to transport readers into a realm of compelling magic and emotional impact as two earthbound teenagers work together to thwart a reality-bending menace. Fragments is accompanied by exclusive swag created in collaboration with small businesses to create an atmospheric, immersive experience. And we are going to leave all of how you can get in touch with them and their socials will be in the description below. I would like to tell you that if you're thinking of picking the book up, there's a small content warning in there. My kid has had to take some time to process a little bit of the content. However, this book is highly endorsed by them, so I cannot wait to get into this interview. Thank you so much. So let's start off. You're a husband and wife duo and also co-authors. What happened first? Did you get married first, or did you start writing together first? Shannon, why don't you answer that question, and we'll then get Edward's opinion.
We started writing first, and I think we had a unique case in this particular part because the first iteration of Fragments was actually written in 2015 by myself solo, and I knew I wanted it to be a series. So when I was working on Reflections, the second in the series, we had started our relationship, and I started bouncing ideas off of him when I had writer's block, and we had this really natural collaboration kind of vibe, and anything that we kind of do together just gets better. And then I proposed the idea of just writing together, like let's actually write this series together, and that's kind of where it all began.
Edward, how did that feel to you to have her invite you into this thing? Was there any trepidation there? And because this is her world, she's created it, and then she's inviting you in. How did that feel, at first?
Takes a lot of trust, and so everything that she told me about where she was planning to take the series in the next book is I'd obviously read the first iteration of Fragments early on, and I loved it enough to be like, hell yeah, so and it was a wonderful, surreal kind of read, just the whole process of just going back and forth with just kind of spitballing ideas and going over ideas on where to take the series next. It was really exciting, and I'd loved creative writing to begin with, anyways. And I thought it was just a very fun way to express and just kind of exercise your head in a sense. And just the prospect of getting involved in like a full-fledged novel was like, I wouldn't say I was afraid of it, but it was definitely like an ambitious sort of step to take, and just the fact that Shannon just trusted me enough to kind of take ownership of this whole universe along with her was just very, like I said, I was very honored by it. So
so you're our first ever collaborators that we have on there. So I imagine that communication, in any kind of collaboration is key. So what would you say if some of our writers are out there thinking about, like, there is this person, maybe, a good friend or someone in their life that they're interested in collaborating with? I think communication. So is there something about the way the two of you communicate that makes the writing part easier, or is it just always going to be hard? Shannon.
You want to go first, babe?
Sure. I mean, I think that you naturally have to find somebody you collaborate with fairly well, but also with that, you can be as organized as possible. I think for me, the key is you have to know when to either compromise or just kind of recognize when, like, maybe another idea is better than the other, and that can be kind of hard if you have ego in the mix. And I'm not one that even I'm not a fan of ego in general. So yeah, that's kind of my take on it.
This would be, by the way, writer. A self-centered kind of ego, not the ego that rules you, not the psychology ego, where these are separate things.
Not the same.
Not the same. No, this is how we generally mean it. So what do you find, Edward, about the collaborative process in here?
Well, plain and simple, any sort of collaboration is going to work or not, and it really just kind of depends on how bad or how fervently one party wants to make it work. And I would say, like, with me and Shannon, I think we're kind of lucky in a sense, just because we've known each other for a long time now, and we've got a lot of history, a lot of awesome history. And so I think our collaborative efforts came very naturally. It came very easy to us, and we both gleaned a whole lot of excitement from it. So yeah, in a sense, I think we're lucky in that sense. But yeah, I think if anybody's trying to pursue a collaborative effort, I think bottom line, whatever this creation may be, or whatever this idea is that people are trying to pursue, you have to really be invested in the idea to really believe in it. Because if you don't believe in it, if you just if you think this is just going to be fun, or just go kind of go through the motions just because for whatever reason, you may still get there. But I think you just really truly have to believe in the idea, in the endeavor, in the creation. Bottom line.
Agreed. Okay, so this is a dark fantasy series, and Shannon, you told me off screen before we came here that the original iteration of Fragments was kind of this thing. You put it together, you self-published it, and you kind of like, checked that off my bucket list. But you still had more story. What drew you to dark fantasy, and what drew you to how did you know you still had more story? And then we'll ask Edward about his contributions here in a minute. But I really kind of want to get into your origins, where you started the story. Why dark fantasy? First of all, why dark fantasy, and how did you know it wasn't done yet when you kind of already checked that box?
Dark fantasy, interestingly enough, I didn't know it was really dark fantasy when I was writing it. I just had a story that I wanted to tell. And then it was kind of at the end of Fragments, I had to decide, well, really, what is this genre? And dark fantasy is a fantastic umbrella term, I'd say, for misfits like us, because you can make it as dark and as fantastical as you want. So you don't have to really fit in this box, I would say. So for me, I tend to lean a bit more towards like darker themes or things that have some pretty pretty heavy emotional impact, and that's usually because there's something to learn in there. It's like the push and pull of light and darkness. Inherently, almost in every species there is like this evil or this darkness, and it's almost like someone is always looking to like maybe push someone down. Not to say that there's not good people out there, of course, but the general theme for me, I felt that. But then it's the strength to kind of rise up above these challenges. And a lot of it is just even in my own life. I mean, I had a lot of hardships, and I had to learn for myself, like, how to be strong and get beyond this. And for me, the characters, I think there's just so much story to tell. And as you start working, I mean, in this epic scope that we're doing, as you start kind of building the story, you have a rough idea of how you want it to begin and then how you want it to end. You can't cram all of that in one book, at least, for me. This just had a lot of substance that just needs to kind of get worked through. And yeah, that's what I got.
As a girl who started off in epic fantasy and switched to mystery, I'm like, just one book. What? Why would there be just one book worth of plot? I don't understand you. Yeah, I totally relate to this. And so then, and Shannon, how old were you when you started writing?
In general, I started writing and making like picture books with like fantasy kind of ideas like since I was 8 years old, and I wish I still had them. Sadly, I don't. But when I kind of dabbled in and out. I did poetry in high school, just a way to kind of get these emotions out. And then starting Fragments, I would say I first started it when I was like 19. And it was the prologue that probably kept me in that loop for I don't know how many years. Thankfully, it's not the same iteration anymore because I couldn't stand reading it. I was like, I can't do it. So yeah, fast forward now, that's, oh my gosh, I don't know how many math is that, babe?
Oh boy. Since 19,
like 20 years.
It's almost 20 years, yeah.
Almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, all right, so that's fair enough. So, all right. And then, Edward, she already had this thing that was, so you obviously read it after she checked her box. She's like, I'm still writing in this. She comes to you, like with the writer's block and things. Obviously, you were a fan. What drew you into this particular story? And what drew you into this particular story? Without giving too much of the plot away, what drew you in to the original one?
Sure. I think initially what drew me in was the overall vibe of it. It was definitely like it definitely had like this kind of darker edge to it. It was surreal in some senses, but conversely, it also felt very real, and I think like relatable. That's kind of what I mean. And I think the story itself. I mean, when I got to the end of Fragments, the first iteration, like I knew right off the bat that, I mean, yes, potentially there was more story to tell, but also I wanted more of the story, So just because
She's done a good job.
It just. Oh yeah, she did.
She did a really good job.
If you ask me, I think
fantastic job.
She did fantastic. Yeah, I mean, she so you need to give yourself more credit for that. So but yeah, I think and really I didn't really think about where it fit in the genre, like genre wise. It's just really the story. It's just the story truly comes first. As far as like laying it all out. And you really worry about, the genre or tropes, if you will, later, just because like we didn't really think about that, as we were writing Reflections. Like that wasn't in our mind at all. Like we were just plain and simple, telling the story, not really giving really a second thought about, how to pigeonhole it into something. It's just, it was, and I think that, just generally fantasy, kind of gives you that freedom to just kind of do whatever you want. And what we wanted to do is just really like make this feel like a very grounded story. And so I think if something is relatable, kind of like how the first iteration of Fragments was to me, that just makes it just that much more intriguing and exciting.
That seems fair enough. All right, so Edward, how old were you when you started writing?
Seriously writing, like taking it seriously, I think it would have been about like almost 10 years ago. Well, 2017 actually. Yeah, that's when we first started to work on Reflections, and so that's when I got serious about it. But prior to that, I had written just like kind of smaller things. I had a lot of practice in summarizing interviews and just doing little like memoir style sort of things. Just because it was just a lot of fun. And that started like basically probably the earlier part of my high school years is when I really just kind of started like rolling with it. So.
So we get these answers a lot. So like 8, 9, 10 is when a lot of people start writing. And if they don't pick it up then, they pick it up in high school. This is a very, like, over and over again, this is a very common thing on writers. So I am curious about it. I keep hoping to book somebody on the show who's like, I was 50, when I decided, you know what, I haven't tried writing yet. But we haven't found somebody who's done that. But if you are 50 and you're watching this, it is not too late. You can pick it up at any moment. It's fine. Okay, so rumor has it there's a sequel to Fragments. How close are we to getting that? My oldest child wants to know. Shameless plug for my oldest kid's interests.
Of course, yeah. So I think we've mentioned the titles a few times already, but it is called Reflections, and it is we do take a nonlinear approach with this narrative in our series in a way. So Reflections is actually going to be prequel material. So and we're doing that with a very clear intent. Once you get and you realize that when you get to the end of Fragments, like why we're doing this, and that is the manuscript is just about finished. We are actually going to try and wrap it up entirely by the end of today. So just so we can get it off to print and have it. Yeah.
They're taking time out of their busy editing schedule to be here for us today. Like, we're so honored.
We're happy to be here. Yes. So we're targeting April for that. As long as we get it submitted for print in time, we'll have it ready for April. So not too much longer.
Okay, Shannon, how many more books in this series? Or we just nobody knows, or because is this
clear?
Yeah, is this a cycle?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, one of the things that I was wondering is things that happen in fantasy series. Is there a lot of cycle? Cycle series. So like, there's a beginning, a middle, the end, and it kind of like comes back to the beginning. So I was wondering if that's, since the nonlinear approach is that kind of the type of story this is. Obviously, I'm not allowed to touch the kid's book until the kid is done. So like, I haven't read it yet, but I will read it. I promise. It sounds fantastic.
I would say that we do tend to break the cycle. So in the second installment, you're essentially going to learn how everything got to where we are in Fragments. Which, if you just read the back of it, it's not a secret. There's a pretty chaotic ball of drama that you're dropped into essentially. And so it's going to progressively get you back to that point. So we're going to illustrate how everything got as messed up as it is. But we do have a definitive end. And I wouldn't say that it necessarily like circles back, but it is a full circle approach. If that's not contradicting enough. However, so we're planning 5 in the main arc itself. However, even with that 5, there's still so much to tell. So we're going to release supplemental installments. We were calling them novellas in the beginning, but they're not going to be novellas. I think we don't write that short. So there'll be supplemental installments to fill in some gaps where we would want to meander, and then as a reader, you're going to be, kind of, I think you'd be wanting more. So the idea is to kind of fill in more of the universe that way without detracting from the main arc. So these would be like pieces that you could read if you want to, but if you choose not to say be invested in the series and you want just like a candy read, or like just something that's not gonna I guess ruin you until the whole series is complete, you'll have that. But as a reader, if you're really wanting to immerse yourself in this world that we're creating, these supplemental installments will help kind of fill more of the picture in for you.
Sounds fascinating and fun. Okay, so I have an Edward specific question here. I hear you're a musician. Is there something in that background with you being involved in music that you think helped you be a better writer?
100%, yes. Because I mean, just getting involved in music really, like, it mirrors writing in a sense, because you tell a story with music as well. It's just a different medium. And with being a musician, I also listen to a lot of music. I mean, for that matter, both of us listen to quite a bit of music, and it's really, I would say music really is the main well of inspiration that we both pull from, and it's constantly running through our heads. There's even sections of both fragments and the upcoming reflections where we kind of touch on the importance of music, because we can't help but inject that into our writing. It's very natural. It's essentially in our DNA. So it definitely kind of leads the story in some ways, but also just creates that atmosphere as well.
And so then Shannon knows a question for you, which you don't have to answer. But do you think, looking back on it, that it was essential that Edward was a musician, that you could not have collaborated with him had he not been? Given the shared interest between the two of you, given the way that music is in both of your lives? Is that?
I'm not really sure because, because I mean, I think it would more have to be like maybe the affinity for music. I mean, because the both of us, I think that's one of the reasons why we even kind of met each other in high school, is because we had shared common interest in music, at least in part, or mostly in part. But I think it's something even deeper than that. I mean, I'm not a musician, but I do pretend like I am sometimes by myself. Because I play keyboard, but not very well, and I'm just a wannabe. But I think there's just this depth. I think that when you have an appreciation for music, maybe it gives you a certain amount of like patience and creativity, maybe.
No, music is a global process. So, and I thought this is maybe like this, like being global. I think it kind of really, like, for me, like, I grew up in a family. We have a lot of amateur musicians in my family. We study music from the time we were very, very small. And so, like, when my vibe session, my jam session, like, I'm always looking for new music to put into my writing playlist. I write to music frequently. I hear writers that talk about like that, and I was like, I don't understand writers who write without music, I think, in a certain way. So I thought, like, this was the part of your story that I really identified with. I was like, oh yeah, I totally understand why music would bring two people together, and why that process of making music, I think, in and of itself is collaborative. So, like, when you understand how something that's as deeply personal and creative as music can be, then I think being open to having that collaboration, I think it gives you a frame of reference, I guess, is what I'm saying. That was the thing that I found out of it. Okay. We're about to ask you, Writing Quest's most controversial question. So first of all, do you guys snack when you are writing? And if so, what type of snack? Shannon, you go first.
Ooh, I've been kind of addicted to Trader Joe's has these like curled, spicy, like what are they? The tortilla rolls. They're like the healthy version of Takis. But obviously they'll get your hands a little, funny. They're not very good for writing, but I don't care. They're delicious.
They're salty. Yeah, they're salty and spicy. We get that. What about you, Edward? When you're writing, do you snack?
I snack on all sorts of stuff. Yeah, anything from like bottom line, you have to have a good chip, on hand, just as a base. But like grapes, cheese, or like even like little cuts of deli meats and whatnot. Yeah, it's
Here's our healthiest snack.
Yeah, you can't cut any corners when it comes to that. You have to feed your brain good stuff. Because I've realized that like as we're writing, as we're just doing any form of thinking, really, you get really hungry, and it's like because your brain is just, whether you really realize it or not, you're burning through a lot of calories, just using your brain, and so yeah, you need to feed it. So yeah, it's important.
All right, so we get writers who crave salty, and we get writers who crave sweet. My preferred snack of choice is popcorn, homemade. Like I don't like none of the bag stuff or whatever. I just make it at home. So it's a little bit healthier because like I can control the salt, I can control how much fat is in it, that kind of thing. But like salty is definitely this thing that I want. And then the other thing that, but I am finding more and more, like as I go later, I write at night. Sweets. I like, my brain wants those uppers, and I think it just like, and I think like that. I don't know what it is about that balance. There's like something in the potassium or the sodium and salt that's like opening up like the brain waves or whatever, and the sweet to like give that energy. And then my most favorite answer to this though is like, I don't snack, but immediately after I'm done writing, I have to take a nap. And I was like, yeah, I feel that hard sometimes when you're done, when like all that creative energy out there. So that's a lot of fun. Okay.
I feel that.
So if people wanted to keep up with you, how would they do that?
We're
pretty active on social, so yeah, definitely Facebook, Instagram at the Chimera Snare. We got to get a little bit more active on TikTok, but we also have a newsletter, and there's a sign up form on our website, thechimerasnare.com. We do try to do like a monthly newsletter that shows like some behind the scenes kind of stuff, content that you don't see online.
Fascinating. Okay. And if there's one thing you would like for our writers to take away from this, what would that be?
For me, it's definitely just tell the story the way that you want to tell it, and don't write for anybody else's needs. Write for your own.
Yeah, I'd have to echo the same. It's like truly, when you write purely for yourself, that's really the most effective way that you're going to find your own unique voice. And unique is the key word. It has to be your voice. And you can wear your influences or inspirations on your sleeve. That's all well and good, but just make sure that it is your voice that's coming out. And the other piece of advice that goes with that is stay away from AI. Don't use it.
I knew you were going to say that. I agree.
Yeah,
so we do have some questions in the chat.
Ooh, cool.
So we have the wonderful Robin here who said congratulations on the new book. They also asked, what are some challenges you faced after finishing your manuscript?
Ooh.
I'd say it's if for us, I think because we write very long books. Like we started with where we left off in the manuscript for Reflections at 250,000 words, and I had to do some research because I found that was like larger than Moby Dick, and so for us, we're like, oh, you know what, like we need to kind of trim this down a bit. But on top of doing that, which we got it to like 189 right now, so that's fairly. It's still a chonker, but it's way better than where it was before. I think it depends on how long you've been working on this manuscript to because like for us, this has been several years. So naturally as a writer, you tend to level up, and you can level up pretty fast. So going back to the beginning and making sure that from there to the end, or however you're putting this together, your voice and elevation is all, consistent. And so we ran into that, and that was a bit challenging to then have to reflesh everything out before you really properly edit it. So
Yeah, I'd have to agree. The challenge does lie just under the umbrella idea of editing, because yeah, like it's you get all your ideas out and like they're all there, and like Shannon said, we had surpassed 250,000 words by the time we were done with the initial draft of Reflections, and you kind of have to recognize that there's some things that you kind of have to like put to the side for just at least a little bit. Just don't have to let it go. Just let it cook for a little bit longer. But yeah, just tearing it down, just tearing down everything that you wrote to like really etch it into your head, as I think the challenging part, just because it does take time, but it is an essential investment in time that you have to do,
Guys,
just to
listen
make
to
sure
his
that
word
you
choice.
just
Like
know it
he
inside
has,
and out.
yeah, he has all the best words. He has like etching and glimmer. Like he's got all the best words, Shannon. Like he reaches in and finds like his vocabulary is delicious.
we
Like
just said that same thing the other day. I have all the best words. I'm like, oh my goodness.
it's like no, but
Oh
he
man.
just he puts like a really fine point. Like he uses his words like for a really fine point, and that is a real gift, to like be able to do that live. I have to go back and because like I get the same word like 4 times, like in a paragraph, and I'm like, yeah, thesaurus, be my friend, and like really have to think about it exactly what did I mean by that, and he just reaches in and finds it. I find that amazing. Yeah. Also find this
Appreciate
story
that.
amazing. Okay, any other questions, Coral?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another question from Robin. Do you have a lot of in-person book signings?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, our calendar fills up fairly quickly. Yeah, we're kind of crazy in that sense, because we just kind of putting it out there. Just I think where are we at, babe? Like, are we got, as far as 2026 goes, it's pretty loaded already, right?
There's a few months that are almost like booked crazy, and I know like consciously I have to stop being so obsessive with this, because in order to write, you can't really be doing it so much. But I mean, just
Right.
in 2025 alone, we did we still have a few more to go, actually, some shows, but I think we're at about 50
Wow.
for the whole year.
More than that, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
I think that when
That's
I was
great.
counting, I counted from like the beginning of like when we actually started, which was what, like August or something last year, and since that
Oh yeah.
point we've surpassed like 65.
They are
Yeah.
Oh,
fantabulous
that's
in person. I do know this for sure. They have gone to Grace Lake Author Fest, which is I'm one of the co-organizers, and that is coincidentally where my kid picked up the book. And just so you know, it is autographed. If everybody can see
All
that, Cynthia,
right.
the autographs there. And my kid, they bought the whole big bundle. This is a fantastic experience. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to the book cover. It's probably like on the wall of book covers in my kid's room. Like my kid is like super into like things. It is visually stunning. I think there were like candles or some sort of fragrance thing. I don't know. My house smelled delicious for quite a while, so like it's a whole immersive experience. And like this is just, it's so much fun. They're really a lot of fun in person. So yeah, if go to their website, go follow them on social medias. It's pretty easy to find out where they're going to be. My Facebook page follows them. So like I see them out and about all over the place. I don't ever have time to go, but I would love to go see them again. So maybe next book we'll find something. Anything else, Coral?
There is another question. If we can have an extra minute of your time, They said, you mentioned AI. I've seen a rise of AI written books, but are you against using AI as a tool for editing purposes?
For me personally, yes, because you're still, there's people that have a profession in editing. So it's like if this isn't something that you're able to do yourself, don't take the human experience out of it. Plus, if unless you have your own like AI, what is it called? Like its own your own tool, like not something that's just going and feeding chat GPT or any other things. You're putting your data and they're going to be using that to train, and you're basically just giving them free data. So in my opinion, like, no, don't load any part of your manuscript into any like open. That's what I was looking for, the word open source, like, chat GPT kind of stuff. There are
Yeah.
tools like Grammarly, which I do use, but even with that, it's you just have to be kind of careful that you don't lose your voice during the process. But firmly for me, because the both of us, we've been doing this process for quite a long time. You start to, this is another way that you as a writer do start to grow. So you'll start to realize, this is what I was doing before. That's not correct. This is what you're supposed to do. And so you start to see it, recognize it, and then naturally your writing evolves. So for me, it's like you take away that experience in learning if you just dump something into a machine like that to just do it for you. It
And
bypasses the learning phase, if you will.
Exactly. Yeah. We definitely would caution against overuse of something like Grammarly. I mean, Grammarly is an algorithm. It's not purely AI, but I believe there's like features that maybe could be unlocked that like maybe they utilize AI. I'm not entirely sure, but but even then, like if you just rely solely on something like that for editing, or just kind of carving your sentences to like just look a certain way. If everybody were to do that, then every book is just going to read and sound the exact same way, and that's what I was kind of like harping on, the importance of maintaining your own unique voice. You can use like stuff like Grammarly to an extent. It can certainly help to just use an algorithm to just kind of like speed up the process in a way. But as far as generative AI goes, we really just hold firm in the belief that it just has no place in the creative process, because it's the key word is the process. You have to go through the process if you have any drive to like really learn and become a better writer, because a machine is not going to do that for you. It pure and simply, it's just not. Besides the ethical use of AI, just because it is essentially theft. It is just scrubbed every maybe like most corners of the internet just for like all this material to just train on, and it's stealing from a lot of other voices, and it's just the to use an analogy, it's that collective juice that's sitting at the bottom of a dumpster, behind a restaurant. That's what you're gonna like. That's what it's gonna kind of look like, and it's not going to be unique. There's not going to be any sort of. It's not going to have any sort of integrity in it, and it's not going to be yours, plain and simple. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for your time and for allowing us to pick your brains and stuff like that. We really do appreciate you.
And we do
Thank you
appreciate
you guys for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much for having me.
you showing up, and we appreciate so much that you gave us some insight into a collaborative process, which I think is intriguing to a lot of writers, but also super scary. So thank you so much. S&E Black, everybody, their book that's out right now that you can own is called Fragments. It comes highly recommended by my oldest child. I do not yet have a personal recommendation because I am not allowed to touch it yet, but one day soon we will get there. It's on the TBR list. And thank you so much for showing up today. And we will let you get on with the rest of your day. And we're going to move on to the writing portion here soon. So thank you so much. Bye.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. So our first prompt that, as you can see, we have our first prompt on the screen. It is our word of the day, and we are going to do bloviate, which is to speak or write in an arrogant tone with more words than necessary.
Okay,
So let's
on the clock.
dive in.
Go.
for us to get in our word counts. How many words did you get? How did you do?
Hold on. It's in the middle of something juicy. I had 212.
Nice. That's really awesome. I got 124.
Nice. Way to go.
Yeah, I was struggling a little bit with trying to figure out where I was going with the scene. So, it was a little wonky.
Yeah, we're struggling with, I have so much plot to put in and stuff to do. So we're going to go, we'll drop that in somewhere.
Absolutely. Like I am technically officially done with the story, so I'm trying to figure out some different scenes to sprinkle in here and there and stuff like that. So it is an interesting challenge to just be like, okay, what could possibly happen during the scene and how would it relate to some of the scenes that I already have?
Interesting. I find it also interesting that you set out to write a 50,000 word novel and it ended early. I think one of the things that many writers don't talk about is the story just is as long as the story is. And like they were like, oh, it's 250,000. SNA Black were like, it's 250,000. Too long. Oops. And I think like also it's short, and I think stories just have their own voice to them, and we just kind of as writers we're just kind of like channeling those out there. So interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's sometimes the story. You need to figure out when you get to the editing portion, like once you get it done, you can always add more whenever you're doing your editing portion, and you can always take away some. But it's like the story is going to be what the story is going to be. And if you are just adding things for filler, then it just, you kind of lose track of what the story is when you start doing that. And you're going to lose readers, I think.
I mean, I would totally agree. On the other hand, maybe like that, this is what your editing process is for. So like, if you're looking and you're like at 50,000 words and you're like, well, but 75,000 is how many I need, go ahead, put that filler in there. And then when you come back, maybe you'll have an idea for a subplot when you come back in 30, 60, 90 days. That'll be in there, and that filler will stop being filler. Just, have some faith in your creative process, I think, as well. If you're trying to hit a minimum word count. I can't help you if you're over words. I can't help you yet. I can only help you if you're under words. Like, if you're on this challenge, there's no such thing as filler words. Until December 1st. Until tomorrow, no such thing as filler. But you're correct.
That's right. That's right.
I don't want to do that. That's an editing.
All right, so now we got prompt 2 popped up. A character does something that would seem to go against their morals and values.
Whatever would that be?
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. My brain is like,
It's the end of the month. Is your brain fried yet?
Right.
My brain is totally fried. It's all like, yes, no, okay. So, yeah, I have no idea. Well, I do. I mean, like, I have a character who's like that. This has kind of been the thing that is, my story is like, I have a character who has a firm set of moral values and sticks with them and tries to live their life with that, and a character who pretends to have moral values as a foil but doesn't really have them. So like, this is going to be something that's really difficult thematically for me to work in,
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's try to do our
Dive
best
into
on
what
this
we
one,
come
huh? All right. Let's do it. 10 minutes. Let's go.